Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Peach Talk. I am your host, Peaches, and with me today I have the well known Donna H from Life Grind. Hey, Donna, how are you?
Well, no, all right. I'll take that. Oh man, what's up?
Nothing much, girl. I'm glad you are here to join me. And then also with us, we have Mr. JP from JP Photography. JP, how are you doing?
Well, hello there, ladies. You have caught me off guard. Hey, y'all, how you guys doing?
He don't quit. He is a mess. So anyway, y'all, welcome. I appreciate you guys joining us. Today we will be talking about dating expectations and are they realistic nowadays?
Mm.
Um, so to kick everything off, we got our first question of the day. What would be the first thing you notice on a person physically? Like when you first see a person, what is the first thing that draws your attention to them?
Mm. For me, it's definitely the smile.
Okay.
Hmm.
What about you, JP?
Um, Eyes.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
say the eyes.
Okay.
Okay. I would have to agree with Donna. It definitely has to be the smile. Um, Dental hygiene is important. You know, can
Yeah,
we can't be having brown and purple teeth.
exactly. Exactly.
Man, yeah, I've encountered people before where they was like it like black up here at the where the gum and the tooth connect. I was like,
Mm.
not. You know what? It was nice knowing you.
No, no, no. That's scary.
But
That's
the love could be real though. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, nah, real
real
nasty.
filthy. Real filthy.
So,
He's like, no, 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 no.
if you guys had to create the perfect person or a perfect partner for you, but they could only have five characteristics,
Hmm.
what would those five characteristics be?
Mm.
Donna, you can go first.
They have to be silly because I'm silly. Like they have to have a sense of humor. So that's top notch right there. Like you have to have a sense of humor. If you can't make a joke and if you can't make me laugh, then I don't know.
Right.
There's just no chemistry there. You know what I mean? Um, they definitely. I want them to be family oriented. You know what I mean? So I want them to have that feel. Have that vibe there. Spontaneous. For
Okay.
somebody, me, I do like a little like I know what I'm doing here, when and there. But the spontaneity that's like attractive. You know what I mean? What am I on? Three. So I got four. And this is actually my number one. They gotta believe in God. So like you have to believe in God. That's actually my number one. And then the last thing is they have to be ambitious. Like I'm not like a mediocre person. So I want somebody who is ambitious.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
JP, what about you?
Well, definitely have to not only believe in God, but have a relationship with God.
Boom.
Spontaneity is cool, and a sense of humor. Definitely have to have a good sense of humor. Let me think. When it comes to what is another that's important for me to have, ambition.
Okay. So you got one more. One more.
And I like a little attitude. I can't lie about that either.
Ooh. So you like a little spice.
Yeah,
Like a
can't
little.
be too. Yes, say what you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
That's good. You know what? Most men will be intimidated by that, though. Like, you have a lot of men that feel like, if a woman speaks her mind, or oh, she's too
Mhm.
masculine and she's
hmm
too rough, and
Mhm.
and that's really not the case. Sometimes, you need someone that is open and honest with you and won't sugarcoat because especially in today's world, like I think that that's what's been the, biggest issue with people being very sensitive,
Hmm.
very sensitive. Um, and they take things way too personal
Yeah.
most of the time. And it simply might not even be about them.
Right.
So my
That's
character, you said what now?
no, that's just interesting. He proved, like, not proved my point, but I always say nice girls finish last. Like, men want a girl who's gonna, like, you want somebody, y'all like women who talk back to you, and you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all want that.
Just a
And
little
so,
bit, not too
Yeah,
disrespectful.
just a little bit. Like, say what you feel, but don't talk over me.
so you don't want her to muff you while she's telling you what she feels.
Yeah, no.
Put the one finger on your lip. um, so I'll say my 5 characteristics would have to be, definitely has to have a sense of humor. I mean, I can't walk on eggshells with nobody. I can't be, and there's enough going on in the world. Like, I want to enjoy life. So if you can't have a sense of humor, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
The second thing is he has to be honest. And I mean, regardless of how he feels about it, if he thinks it's going to hurt my feelings, just be honest, because the worst thing you can do is lie to me. I can respect the truth more so than I can a lie any day. If I feel like because what you really do when you lie to people, you basically essentially take their choice away from them. Being completely honest and open about, who you are and your intentions and things like that, that allows a person to actually sit back and say, you know what? Okay, can I deal with this, or do I want to proceed? Um, Third, they have to be family oriented. Um, it's big for me because regardless of the family dynamic that we end up having, no one ever chooses. Like for me, I never chose to be a single mom, right?
Right.
So it is important that my children still have a great relationship with both of us, both of their parents. So that person would have to be understanding as to, their dad being active, I've run into a lot of things. I mean, a lot of people that, when they see the dynamic of how me and my ex gets along, it's like, oh, y'all must be still want to be with each other. And it's like people are so used to toxicity that something that is completely different is so taboo and so out of the norm. It's just like, oh, y'all must be. And it's
Right.
like, no, we just chose to take our feelings out of the equation because we no longer are together, and focus that, energy on the kids and their well-being.
I like it.
Yeah. So, and then the fourth thing, wait, yeah, fourth thing, um, he has to have a good work ethic. I can't deal with somebody that's lazy. I've dealt with people where I cut my own grass, so if I'm out here cutting the grass and you just lazing around and complaining, I'm gonna have a problem with that. You got to go. Because we can't be having it. At least, make it so that I don't have to do as much, because when you talking about adding in a partner, that person is supposed to lighten the load for you. And vice versa, you know. And then the fifth and final, I would have to say they have to be an effective communicator. The worst thing, well, communication is big. Comprehension is even bigger.
Yes.
Because you can't have one without the other. You have people that will sit there and listen to you all day, and then it goes in one ear and out the other because they're so concerned about their own feelings and how it offended them that they're not looking at the bigger picture and what is realistic at that moment.
Yeah.
So those are my most important characteristics, I would say.
Yeah. What's interesting about the communication piece, and I got this, so I love the show Married at First Sight. Like, it's just so intriguing to me, like, that these people volunteered to do, like, they signed up to do this, right? But your definition of somebody being a good communicator is different from his, right? So
True.
communication is key. It's like in my top 10, but I feel like sometimes you can teach the person how to communicate with you,
True.
because everybody it's just different how people describe or define communication.
That's true. I think that, when it comes to communication too, because there are so many facets of how people comprehend things,
Mm-hmm.
it can be frustrating to someone that knows how. So I always say this, it's very important to learn yourself first before you start trying to date. Because if you don't know yourself, it's going to make it so difficult for someone to understand you.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'm very direct. Be direct. Tell me exactly what it is that, like if I'm doing something, we'll just put an example. If I'm doing something where I think that I'm showing you I care about you, but you're not receiving that. You're like, oh, okay, you did this, cool, whatever. It is important that if you don't feel a certain way about whatever I did,
Mm-hmm.
it's important for me to come to you and say, you know what? I did this and I thought that I was doing enough, but obviously that's not the case. What is it that you want or what is it that your expectations are? What are you looking
Mm-hmm.
for me to do?
Yeah.
If you don't even know that yourself, how
That's,
can you expect someone to to meet those expectations?
yep. That's very true.
You look like you want to say something,
He
JP.
does. Like, go ahead, say it.
You know you can interject.
No, I know. I'm taking it in first. I'm sorry. I'm actually, because what you got, you guys are basically, everything you guys are saying. There's nothing wrong with what y'all saying. So
Hmm.
Okay.
I don't have anything negative to say about what it is that you guys are asking for.
Okay. Okay. Well, do you think that it's important for a person to be established on their own prior to dating? Um, like whether it's you making sure that you're, you know, established or the person that you're dating is established. Like what I mean is they're able to sustain the stability for themselves,
Hmm.
um, and things like that.
Um, it depends. I mean, I can imagine it's different for women and men.
Yes.
Like, if a man is not established, girl, I don't want no part of that. He need to know himself. But if a woman is not established as a man, especially if you really like her, you know, it's up to us to I guess encourage that.
Mm.
Mm.
Like
Word. Yes.
I will say though now, some cases that's not the case. Like some of us, and I will say this, somebody told me this and it hurt my feelings a little bit when they told me it was like a eye opener. They were like, you are used to Build-A-Bear type of people. And
Hmm.
I'm like, what does that mean? And they were like, because these people will be empty and you're trying to pour into them and make them whole. And then you end up not being able to reap the benefits of you pouring into someone.
Mm.
And I'm like, dang. So, it's a lot that goes into that. Like I feel like you have to be careful and ask questions when it comes to dating. You have to ask a lot of questions simply because people can put on a facade and they can find certain things about you and they say, you know what, I'm going to focus on this particular thing because I know this thing will make this person like me more, right? um but in retrospect, like they're not really completed themselves, like they
Mm-hmm.
haven't done these things for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
like,
who
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
So, but I mean, we're all still young. I mean, some let's say if I'm what you might not, what you want now may not be what you want 5 years from now.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, when people say I'm completed, it's like you're just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
True. Well, I'm gonna tell you, like I'm gonna tell you, if somebody ever tell me, "Oh, you complete me," I run the opposite direction
Yeah.
because, first of all, that's you seeking. That's a codependency issue. And it's like you have to be able to be a whole person for yourself first before you try to bring someone else into that.
Mm-hmm.
What I also mean about, stability and, the expectation of uh, someone being established before they date you. Um, if I come in and you're telling me, hey, I'm going to help you with something, but you haven't even put yourself in a position to help yourself,
Hmm.
that is really like, it's almost like you're trying to force something that shouldn't even be forced. It's like, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to explain it to where it's like, it's almost like someone is trying to hurt themselves in order to help you so that you can like them.
Right.
If
Right.
that makes any sense.
I don't know. So when I thought about this question, at the age I am now and where I am in my life, that established piece is important, right? But if this was 10, 15 years ago, when I was like in my 20s, or if I first graduated college, or when I first, you know what I mean, then I would be a little more lenient on that piece, right? And I think it's different expectations for men versus women, just like JP said. Like it's seen to be it's okay for a woman to not be in that established state, you know what I mean, versus a woman is seeking somebody who is established. So I think for me at this age right now, that established piece is important. And we talked about this on wine therapy once, like, you know, my longest relationship when we started out, he was a barber. You know what I mean? And I was teaching, and that was fine. You know what I mean? And then some things grew and some entrepreneurship happened. But me right now at this age and where I am, I'm not. We're just in a different space. I'm in a different space right now, so you have to be established at this point. So I think it's about the age range and where you are personally.
True. And that's the thing, and that's what is so important, like, to know what is realistic and what is unrealistic when it comes to expectation. Because, you know, people like, okay, so for myself, me being, a homeowner, me having a steady career, things like that, those are the qualities that, I would prefer in my mate. Because, it's like we already come in as equal.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, if you're still trying to figure things out, it's almost like, well, figure that out first. And then if I'm still available, then come back. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Yeah.
sometimes, then JP, now let me know if I'm wrong. But when a man has his mind on personal accomplishments, as far as him not feeling himself because he hasn't achieved certain things, sometimes you guys can end up taking it out on the person closest to you.
Yeah.
That's tricky. That's tricky. I mean, in some cases maybe,
Mm. Yeah, I
but
mean, that's what says so.
Yeah.
but if you are focused, like if you are a focused individual, it doesn't matter who's around you. I mean, you're just focused on reaching that goal.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So you're not. It's not about taking it out on people. It's just say, listen, this is where I'm going. Like you can either go with me, or I'm gonna have to leave you behind.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I know for me, when I say established, what that looks like is just being able to be sustainable on your own. If you coming in and I gotta sit here and pay for things as far as like your car note and bills and things like that coming in,
Mm-hmm.
problem. And vice versa. If somebody comes in and feels like they have to help me pay for bills, then maybe I need to self reevaluate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need to say, you know what, Ashley, you are living beyond your means. Hey, you need to do a better budget. You need to go back and regroup and then come back when you can really, be a whole person, instead of allowing a person to come in and say, well, you need help. And, because then it becomes a charity case almost. You know what I mean? It
Right.
doesn't, you get so inundated with the things that need to be taken care of that you're not even focused on the actual relationship or the dating portion of what you guys are trying to do in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But see, It's so tricky because as a man, it is expected for us to be at a certain level. But when it comes to dating a woman, how many men do you know would walk away from a woman if she's having bill trouble? And I mean, what I mean is
Mhm.
not crazy bills, not crazy, but if there's because life happens, right?
Yeah.
And we're expected to not necessarily carry that mantle, but you know how it is. Or a girl, if he dating you, or if he getting whatever from you, he need to be X, Y, and Z in
Mhm.
making sure that you're good. So it's kind of different for us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a bigger expectation. Like for you
So
guys, of course. Oh, he ain't together, so of course the first thing they gonna say, "Oh no, girl, leave him alone. He can't even pay for the meal." You know what I'm saying?
right. So I think, and it's like there's a stereotype there, right? So
Mhm.
I feel like JP, it's okay for you to introduce your new girls to the crew and be like, yeah, she the cashier at Subway. Versus if I walked in and I was like, yeah, he the cashier at NTB, everybody would be looking at me like,
Yeah,
girl.
society has made it so I mean that actually begs my next question, like, is a person's career important to you?
It's not what they it's not what okay, so I'm not expecting that he is a doctor, a lawyer, white collar, anything. You know what I'm saying? I just need you to be, you can't be in this world floating and not knowing what you want to do. That's just, that I cannot have, you know? So it's not that I'm not okay dating somebody who is, not career minded, or has an actual career. That's not what I'm saying. But I can't be Dr. Donna walking around. It's just we're not equally yoked, and that's part of it. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna be. Yeah, you're not gonna be cleaning the frosty machine, and I didn't came home from a board meeting. And, no, that's not happening. No.
JP say I don't know about that. Well, so what, go ahead, JP. What is
Well,
it important to you?
I'll say this much: if their career is what they're passionate about, then that's exactly where I want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what
Because
passion is being a stripper?
what I mean, you can only do that for so many years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Old men need strippers too.
hey, but they going after the younger ones. You know what I'm saying? So I just say it has if it's what you're passionate about, I much rather you do that. Because if you're not doing what you're passionate about, then I'm going to be miserable.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But would you say that's the same thing when it comes to a man, though? That's why I was asking earlier.
Well, for us, we're expected to again. If she gets, we're expected to be the providers. So his passion, like some of y'all say, better bring something.
True.
Because if you in the middle of trying to figure out your passions,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
were doing one thing for a while, then you go and do something else.
Yeah.
He's expected to carry that load until you figure out what's your next move.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no room for us to be like, okay, I need time to figure some things out. Y'all like, you need to know because you
Well,
know.
it all also depends on where you are in life, like Donna was saying. Because, like, okay, for me, I'm a single mom. I have children that I have to take care of. Okay, so if a man is still trying to figure it out, or he has an unstable income, or unstable being able to take care of himself, it's like, do I really want to really take that on? Because it's like, if something happens and you're unable to work, or you can't, or say you don't get enough clients, or whatever the case may be, because say you're an entrepreneur and you don't get enough clients, and you're still working at it, but you don't get enough clients. It's like, now I've taken on another person I have to take care of, and is that really fair?
But what
See,
happens if he? Okay, what happens if he's still trying to figure out what he wants, but he always gonna have a way to bring money home?
and
That's different.
that's different as well. That's different.
I know some people, I mean, listen, they may not know exactly what they want, but they can pop up that alternator, they can fix that computer screen real quick and make some money real quick in a day, you know.
Right.
Yeah, but and that's the comment. The comment says it's about the stability piece. You know what I mean? Like you not being able to um commit or have an idea, it does bring up some red flags. Your ability to commit. A woman looks for stability. If you as a man, you're supposed to provide, some sort of stability. So some of those things are red flags. I don't mind, if you are cleaning the frosty machine in the interim until, your barbershop is, you close on it and all that stuff. I don't mind that. And like I said, I've been in that relationship, you know what I mean? And it wasn't an issue. And it's tough when you're dealing with an entrepreneur who is counting heads, you know what I mean? Or they counting clients, but that's part of that teamwork aspect. That's that partner aspect. But I just can't have you out here like, I quit Wendy's and now I'm working at Pizza Hut. You know what I mean? And I don't know why I keep this. It's probably from the example.
Got some plans for later or something, you know what I'm saying?
No, it was an example somebody gave us on another show. Yeah, but I mean that stability piece is huge, but you don't have to be suit and tying it every day to be with you. It's not a requirement. I like a little thug in you.
No, I don't know about the thug part, but
like JP like the attitude. I like a little thug in you.
But
I like the attitude, but I don't like overbearing. Yeah, disrespectful. Yeah. Like,
I will say that the career portion isn't important, but I will say this: I need you to have a retirement plan. Whether that's you putting money away, whatever the case, you put it in the 401k, whatever. I need you to have a retirement plan because here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to work for the rest of my life. So at some point, I would like to retire. And one thing I did learn growing up, a lot of the older generation did not have these, plans in place. And so they're still having to work, even in their retirement age. Mm-hmm. And I just don't want to be in that space. Mm-hmm. When I retire, I want me and my husband to be able to go travel, enjoy life. That's what I want. Mm-hmm. And because our hard work is taking care of the kids, making sure that the home is good, and getting everybody grown and gone and out the house, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's important that a person has a plan at the very least and actually implementing steps towards that plan. Because if you can't have a plan if you just talking about it.
Mm-hmm. It's this action. So Ashley, so you're saying that he has to come with a retirement plan.
He got to have a plan to retire. He doesn't have to have necessarily, a 401k or anything like that, but he definitely has a plan. Have to have a plan to retire because we can't live just off of my retirement.
But you don't know that.
Nah, we ain't. Nah, we can't. Mm-mm.
Oh man, she said.
I'll be your butt home. Look, I'm going to the Bahamas for a week. I'll see you when I get back, baby.
His plan is to win the lottery. Oh my God, that is funny.
I think one who's established should have money working for them instead of constantly working for money. Hey, that's a babe. I agree.
I like it.
Let's see. She said his plan is to win the lottery.
That's my plan too.
I think a lot of people playing that. Okay. So as far as dating, so I know that it's probably been rough for a lot of us out here. But what would be your ideal first date? And you know what? Hold on, Donna. Before you speak, I would love to hear the male's perspective on this. What is your first? What would be your first ideal date, JP?
Well, good conversation, good meal, good time, few laughs. Pretty ideal.
Okay, so it's very, very basic.
Pretty much, it's the first meeting, so I don't really have expectations of knowing your future plans. just in the first time I talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you could tell me one thing in the beginning, and then I go on a few more dates and I learn a few more things about you. You know, so
That is
first date to me in a lot of ways can be a facade. You know, it's like
mm,
I want you to see something, and a lot of times they might want you to see something that's not there.
mm,
Yep.
So again, I'm observant. I'm sitting. I'm learning. I'm actually listening. Like I pay attention to little things. How you, you know, server comes around. I want to see how you respond to them.
mm.
If you see something that you know is funny, but at the same time, like if you just see something, I want to see how you. I'm paying attention to the little things because sometimes those give more away than just what you're telling me. So
Mhm.
Okay. All right, JP. Donna, what's your first skill
Do
date?
something like let's go axe throwing. Let's go. Let's do an activity. You know what
see
I mean?
that's thing that's distracting
Mm-mm.
because
You think so?
yeah, because we're so focused on having fun in that. I'm still trying to gather data on you.
Mm-mm. You can gather a million data. How they are when they're frustrated. Are they a sore loser? How they
That's
interact
true too.
with people, and
That's
then
true too, though.
yeah, I'm all about like let's go axe throwing. We can go to dinner too. We can go
But
for a
what if
walk.
she's crazy?
Huh?
What if the first time you meet her, y'all go axe throwing, she trying to throw axe at somebody there, and
Hey,
you're like, hey,
You need to leave.
it's
It-
better to
I
know
wasn't
that now.
expecting this. You know what I'm saying?
It's better to know that now than 15, 20 days later. The crazy's gonna come out. So I want us to do something. I want to see how you work. Like, do you are you encouraging? Like when I don't hit the bullseye, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to see what you're like.
I agree, Ash. See, you have an opportunity to check out the lady from behind when you ask through it.
Hey, listen, she throw the axe a certain way. I might say she got a lot of aggression going on right there. Like,
Exactly.
Well, I mean, ask through it because I've gone ask through it.
Yeah.
It's actually a technique,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
it's
But
definitely pretty fun though.
yeah,
Um,
it's fun, huh?
it's like it's just
So
like
you good
darts.
with sharp objects? That's what you're telling me.
Just like darts. You just throwing it at the target and trying to get the
So if
bullseye.
you're a little too good now, that's a
Oh,
warning. Now, that's a
Ashley
you learn.
said she don't want a fancy dinner. Let's go for coffee, drinks, walk in the park. I would have to agree with Ash. My first
simplicity.
ideal date is just us being able to talk and just get to know each other. You know, I don't have to do a lot on the first date. I don't even have to eat on the first date. If it is just coffee, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times it's difficult to date when people have this preconceived notion that they always have to spend money. So a lot of times it can make men turn off about dating, or that's why I leave it up to the man to decide what we're going to do. Hey, even if, and I'd let them know, hey, if we just get coffee, that's fine. You want to walk in the park, that's fine. You just let me know time, date, place, and I'm there. I'll make the time.
Mm-hmm.
So allowing them that space to be able to have a little bit of control over how the date goes is very important, I think. And it also allows them to know that, hey, this isn't about what, you know, fancy dinner you can get me, or, how much you got to spend. It's me wanting to actually get to know you and spend time with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like it. I like it. Most people want to.
Yeah, so a lot of times it's hard to go on dates because it has definitely been a transactional thing lately.
Yeah.
Um, I think that because I think even on social media, you've seen where the men would, pay for the date, and he's like, "Oh, I pay for your dinner, so you're not gonna come home with me." Okay, well, you find your own way home, and it's like, but at the same token, I never got knowing that it's like that this day and age. I never go on a date unless I could pay for myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
And
I kind of feel like you wouldn't. Well, never mind. Go ahead, JP.
and to say most men only want sex for a date. I mean, after they take you out to eat is very is it's not true. It's just that the most men that you've come across want that. As far as the person who put that down there, because when somebody really wants you, seriously, if you give, even I'm as speaking for myself, if it's too easy, I don't want it.
Now I've heard that too. Now I've heard from my male friends, where, especially here in Atlanta, where the girls just throw themselves at you. They said that it's almost scary because it's like, if you throwing yourself at me, then who else you throwing yourself at?
Good question.
So, do you think that it is a good idea to date someone you would normally not date?
Based on my most recent experience, no.
Why you say that, Donna?
No, actually, I'm gonna say yes because he taught me a lot about myself and reaffirmed some things that just are for me and things that are not for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, JP?
At this point, I don't even waste my time with it because you know the outcome. So it's kind of like, why even allow yourself to emotionally invest?
That is true. That is true. If it's somebody that you wouldn't normally date, it's yeah, that's true. That's true. It's kind of it's almost like a waste of time a little bit because you like it's like you're placing potential on a person.
You know where this is going.
And it's like, you don't really like that. You know that you think they ugly. You know that. You know that. Now I will say women are very guilty. So remember the whole, you saying that men have to be okay with financial situations when it relates to a woman. You have a lot of women that are being taught, oh, just give him a chance. Just don't worry about his looks. Just think about his personality. And a lot of times women do that. We will sit there and compromise what we what we really want versus, hey, okay, I'm gonna give this, not so attractive dude a chance, or I'm gonna give this person a chance. And end up they make you feel like you the ugly person. Like I've had that situation done to me before where I was like, oh, all right, he's not that attractive, but let me just see. And then the guy ended up making it seem like he was a blessing to me. Like, oh, you should be honored that I'm dating you. And I'm like, you know what? I'm good, sir.
Yeah. I don't like it. And I will never do that again. But sometimes maybe what you want isn't really what you need. So maybe that's why you should date outside your norm.
That's true too.
Yeah. I will say this though, maybe not too extreme. Like I will say this. When it comes to physical attraction, it's a non-negotiable for me. Like if I can't find you attractive in your face, you ain't got the body ain't gotta be on point, but in your face, if I gotta put a plastic bag or not plastic bag, purple bag over your head,
Dang.
I'm sorry. Call me shallow.
But see, now you're entering into the whole territory where you guys can put on a whole face, and then we actually see you in person. We be like, okay, is that the person I seen in the online picture she showed me?
I agree with that. These women out here catfishing y'all, and it's disrespectful. Like,
listen, y'all got these. Listen, I'm not trying to hate, but I'm a man. I gotta say it. Y'all got these body shapers. Y'all got everything in the world now. You don't know what you got. Like everything's sitting up the ways her face look. I mean, just when she actually said, "Hold on, let me show you what's really going on," you like, hey, whoa, That's what I'm saying. It's so tricky because you don't know, like, and you really shouldn't. I mean, if you really like somebody, that shouldn't be the problem. But it's like this is the way you've been. And I know some of you guys. I mean, listen, it's raining outside. You still got to put a face on. Like it's raining. What are you doing?
I ain't doing that. I will say this. I know for me, I always FaceTime and show up to the first date with no makeup. Or even if I do have makeup, I'm not putting on eyelashes, I'm not caking on makeup. I might have some lip gloss or something, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't about to be going too far with it.
Yeah.
But most of the times, like I said, I don't try to put on makeup
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to a first date because I don't want you saying I catfish you.
Yeah. The
I mean,
cat.
they got these. You guys know what they got these things. I mean, they will literally give you a shape.
Give
Oh,
you.
sometimes, okay, I agree with Ashley. Sometimes with the body shapers, we just like being able to look nice and smooth in our
Yes.
dresses.
You guys is this is the South. You guys are sweating underneath there, okay? So, y'all holding it together, but at the same time, y'all somebody give me to a fan. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
So funny.
I can see that. I can see. Okay, okay, okay.
you
Um,
don't know what you don't know.
okay, it's fair. You right. It's fair. It's fair. But I will say this now. Like I said, the face for me is important. The body don't necessarily have to be there. I will put it this way. There are limits to everything. I don't mind chunky,
Mm-hmm.
but if you struggling to walk, we're gonna have a problem.
Problemo. That's fair.
So I mean, I know I ain't in the best of shape, but I gotta at least, draw the line there.
I
Um
feel the same way.
what are some of the challenges you faced dating now?
Mm. JP, you go first.
Go ahead, spill the beans, JP.
Mm, I guess the challenges these days is wondering what people really want.
Mm.
Okay.
Are you? It's what comes as far as being. Are you dating me because I'm that Tuesday guy
Mm.
to get your meal on Tuesday, or are you really trying to build something?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because hey, listen, you guys know some of us guys, we definitely can have a whole roster. But see, y'all can have the lawn man, y'all can have the computer man, y'all can have the car engine alternator man, y'all have the work husband. I mean, it's the Donna, I'm sorry, but
Work
yeah,
wife
I'm just saying.
too
So
now.
I'm just.
They got the work wife too now. Be
the
making
work,
meals and stuff. Like I
yeah,
can
but
cook.
mm, yeah. But so I guess it's just a matter of just these days are just are we on the same of do we have the same objective in mind?
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Or
clear?
am I just a space keeper? Like, or am I just somebody where you don't like being by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and so you call me, just to take you out, but at the same time you don't want anything, you just want company.
Mm.
Mm. But it's clear. But I would say that that's why it's also important before you even go on the date to actually ask questions about people's intentions and what they are looking for, because a lot of times people tell you right away, or be confused right away, where you
Mm-hmm.
just be like, yeah, this isn't quite what I'm looking for, but I appreciate you, talking to me.
But it's tricky because again, a man is expected to know what he, what you know what I'm saying. Like if I tell a woman, hey, this is where we're going and this is what I want to do, you guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
But with you guys are more so what are you bringing to, like, you know what I'm saying, like what do you want, and if you like what I'm telling you, then it's kind of like, okay, we can go somewhere with this,
Mm-hmm.
versus with, if a woman's this is what I want a husband, I want this, I want that, and he's already saying like, you don't even know my last name, so it's kind of
But is she saying that she wants you to be her husband?
Right.
See,
right.
that's the thing that I think is there definitely miscommunicated. When we set an intention, it's like we're setting a goal. Hey, I'm dating because I want to be married and have a family. It's not to say that's gonna be with you, but this is why I'm dating. I'm not trying to waste your time. I'm not trying
Mm.
to, you know what I mean? But a lot of people, not just women, not just men, but a lot of people don't even know if that's what they really want.
Right.
A lot of times I think that people say hey, this is what I want. But then when it comes down to actually what that looks like as far as being able to make sure that you guys are compatible, it's like some people just don't know what that looks like for them. Sometimes you have people also that look at an image and the outside appearance or the outside, like prime example, I tell people all the time, if somebody can go on my social media and name the exact same things that you name as far as what you like about me, you don't like me for real. And that's just being honest.
Yeah.
Because like, oh, you're a good mom. You got your head on straight. You take care of business. I'm like, okay, that's what looks good on paper. But me as an individual outside of that role, because a lot of people look at the generalized requirements to be a wife or a husband, right? And then it's like outside of that role, we are people, we are individuals. So what exactly is it that makes me right for you? Do I encourage you? Do I, allow you a safe space to, cry out and not judge you? Do I allow you, you know what I mean? So these are things that you have to understand about yourself and the needs that you have in order to be able to clearly decipher what person is right for you and not just go based on, oh, this person looks good, they make me look good, and that's it is what it is.
I think one of the problems is that we face, especially now, is that we live in such a microwave society where we want things instant.
I'm gonna have to give you a standing ovation on that one, sir. Thank you.
I think we want things too fast, and so a lot of times those things that you're asking about, what you just said is true. A lot of people aren't willing to take time to discover those things. They're too, I guess, concerned with getting other things, physical things satisfied. And a lot of times, even that can get in the way of answering those questions that you just said, because you're more so, you're all emotionally caught up, and yet there's still things that aren't being satisfied in the things that you just said.
Right.
But because that emotional attachment is there, you kind of ignore it, or you kind of just.
Well, and then too, you have people that just want to skip to the end. It's like we got all this stuff we need to experience each other with each other. We need to experience going abroad with each other. We need to experience, riding a bike together. We need to experience, you know what I mean? So it's
so many women want to marry. They want the wedding, but they're not ready for the marriage.
You know what's funny though? I'm gonna tell you something that I have learned recently, just like in the past year. You have a lot of men that are looking for wives, but they're not looking to be husbands.
Facts.
You got a lot of men that have, okay, you know what? I got my kids or I got custody of my kids, but I need a replacement mom. I need somebody that's going to take care of the kids and stuff because I don't really want to do it, which is why they're at somebody else's house. You know what I mean? Like, I need you to come in so I can feel better about my kids being under one roof. It's like, nah. Or, like I said, people will look at the fact that I got 3 boys and they like, oh, well, shoot, she fertile. I want a do-over. I want another baby. You know what I mean? Nah. Because FYI, I'm shutting this factory down. But but you have people that are so focused on those particular things that they're not allowing enough time to actually see what that person can do for them internally, what that person can provide, that makes them unique and special only to them. People that just want to skip to the ending and want to be able to say, oh, look at my lovely wife and my family and this image is of beautifulness, but then behind closed doors I can't stand you. Like, you know what I mean? And that's not at all where I want to be personally. I want to be able to be best friends with my spouse. I want to be able to say, okay, when the kids are grown and gone, it's just me and you. Baby,
Mm-hmm.
we walking around the house holding hands naked, or what are we doing? Are we
Right.
gonna be on two separate ends of the house? What we doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mess.
Why why you laughing, JP?
I just had this, hey, don't sit on that couch right there, boy. You better not sit. Don't sit. Don't sit right there, boy. Me and your mama. Oh my goodness, no.
Right.
But you're right, though. You're right.
Yeah, I just know that people have to allow time to be set in, and people also want you to be able to just give them everything all at once,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to earn the right to have certain parts of people. You can't just, it's just like I think I've made this metaphor before, and I've told someone, like, it's just like me going to so a stranger off the street, and the stranger said, "Oh, I could watch your purse for you," and you like, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
You don't know this person, you
Right.
don't know, what I'm saying, what they'll do. So how can you really expect a person to be like, "Okay, open arms, I'm just gonna trust you with everything,"
Mm-hmm.
and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
And so many times people are looking for happiness through other people.
Ooh, yes.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that
And
is.
so it's like when the person does something they don't like, they want to end it or be done with it. But I mean, you're looking for perfection for an imperfect person, and it's kind of
Mhm.
It's unrealistic. That's
yeah,
legit. Yeah, that's legit right there.
Right.
like yeah, you have all these sweet. The thing is, you have all these wonderful qualities. I love about it. I love it. I love it. But even in your ugliest qualities, am I still gonna say I love it? I may not like it, but can I really deal with you on your hardest days?
Mm-hmm.
And I
Right.
guess that's the challenge.
That is the challenge right now because people they walk away so easily, and it's like it's that unrealistic expectation
Hmm.
that somebody not gonna have a bad day, that I'm not gonna f up every once in a while. You know what I mean? That I might say the wrong thing, but nobody has that mindset of the commitment aspects. You know what I mean? And so you work through those challenges, you work through those hiccups, but everybody's just like, oh, this happened, and I'm
You
gone.
know, being especially you being in such a large city,
Mm-hmm.
it's it's choices for days, and even social media has kind of put a dent in that where you know all you had back in the day was a black book and a couple of people you might know around the city.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays you can hit somebody up from Germany and say, "Hey, my wife tripping," and I think too many times people got too many choices,
Yes.
Right.
and I think it's hard for people to be content because there's always someone else making it look like their grass is greener.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's not the other people. Sometimes you can also have a person that is so codependent, or someone that is looking, like you said, looking for happiness in a person to a point
Hmm.
where they start like being clung to that person, and it's like, we're individuals first.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to sit with yourself. If you can't do that, then it's like you're going to end up stressing somebody else out because you're trying to get them to want to be like in your skin all the time. And it's like,
Yeah.
See,
yeah,
one thing about men, if you have noticed, men, we are very visual. We are visual creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes all you have to do is just scroll through social media and just see the best looking, most amazing looking Photoshop people ever. And you think that's reality. And
Right.
some people really get caught up in that. And
Mm-hmm.
so even if they have something great, they're not content with it because they don't really see it for what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And so someone else is coming along saying, "Hey, it'll be better here," and then you go there and you wish you hadn't gone there.
Right.
I have to agree with Ash on this. Like, it's hard for givers to set proper boundaries, and then it's hard for other people to look at those boundaries as
Hmm.
personal, but
Mm-hmm.
but necessary.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of times, I used to not set boundaries, or either if I did set boundaries, I was very like lenient, And I'll be like, oh well, I don't really like this, but okay, let's do it because it makes you feel good. But it
Mhm.
didn't make me feel good. You know what I mean? So I've had to learn, within the past year that I have to set clear boundaries. Hey, this is how I operate. This is how you either get on with the bandwagon, or you can find someone that better
Mhm.
suits your way of operating. Um,
Mhm.
and that's where a lot of people, they try to change an individual. Yes, do I understand that relationships are compromised by all means, yes, but there are certain things that if it alters a person's characteristics and you're trying to also overstep boundaries because you're upset because that person set a boundary, and now you're like, well, you're not doing what I want you to do, so I'm mad at you. It's is that person really for you? Because
Right.
you know people have to be able to be in a healthy relationship, not something that where someone is constantly trying to change you or trying to, you know what I mean, manipulate it so that it's more suitable for them
Mhm.
all the time.
Yeah. The key word
You
is
know,
healthy relationship. Boundaries are healthy. So if I'm in a relationship with you and you don't respect my boundaries, that's a problem. There's no way that it's going to be a healthy relationship. You know what I mean? People see boundaries as restrictions, but that's not really what it is. Boundaries are self-care for me as a person. You know what I mean? So I think that, your partner has to respect the fact that you put those boundaries there for a reason. And that's just going to make the relationship even more healthy. The fact that you respect those boundaries that I put in place.
Right. Because
it goes back to communicating.
right.
Hmm.
Right. That is
Because, for example, let's say I'm with someone, and when she gets mad, it's best to wait for her to calm down before I decide to tell her what's going on, instead of trying to talk through her being angry.
Hmm.
mm,
If I don't effectively communicate, we're going to have an argument where we really don't have to have one.
right.
Yep.
I've had that done where I would tell people, hey, give me a minute. I don't want to speak to you while I'm frustrated because for one, it's not gonna come out, clear and concise, and
Hmm.
I'm gonna be all over the place because I'm gonna be mad, and I want to be able to come back to you calmly and actually address these issues in a
Hmm.
respectful and calm manner, because a lot of times in the heat of moment when you're upset, you're going to do and say things that you probably not don't mean.
Hmm.
And sometimes I could be like, I'm done with this, I don't want to be with you no more, and then it's like, well, I didn't really mean that, I just needed you to chill the hell out.
And
Yeah.
see, that's just, that's confusing, man. Because if I say, okay, I'm walking out the door, don't leave. You just told me to get out.
But that's why it's important, like you said, if
But you
you
know
know
what
that
I
you
mean.
need to calm down first,
Hmm.
calm down first. Say,
Yeah.
hey, you know what, baby, I see that this is really aggravating you or
Hmm.
it's getting frustrating for you. So
Yeah.
how about we do this? We just put a pin in it and we
Hmm.
just revisit it later on. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Now she go off, well, I want to do it now. Then you be like, well, baby,
Right.
you upset right now, and I don't want us to say anything either of us don't mean, you know what I mean. You have to talk, you have to be able to bring a person, because women are very emotional, so you have to be able to kind of like bring us back down,
Hmm.
bring us
And
back
so
down.
that goes back to, again, what we were saying. Like, if I can love you through that, if I really care for you through that, then I know that we have something special.
Right.
Because again, I can't expect you to be everything.
It's all about building one another up.
Hmm.
Don't push me to be better, keep me accountable with my goals, respect my boundaries. It won't work.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I have a question for JP. Why are you single? Or am I assuming that you're single?
I am. Why am I single?
Mhm.
Why you saying it like that? Lamb.
I guess one of my main issues over the years is understanding the difference between seasonal people and long term.
Mm, okay.
And some things I've definitely been guilty of trying to make seasonal people long term, and it's never worked out that way.
Mm, okay. So do you think that, also, uh do you allow other people to make decisions for you, or do you verify? Because I know that sometimes we get caught up in this societal way of handling dating, where it's like, well, I'm not gonna call this person for like 3 days because I don't want them to think I'm too clingy, or things like that. Do you like say, hey, look, I like you, I would like to see you again, or if that is the case, or do you allow that person to kind of,
Come to me.
yes,
I could say I'm more of a like if I feel it, I'm going after it.
okay, okay,
But at the same time, like you said, when someone's mad, even though you want to say what you want to say, sometimes you just have to back up and you just have to let them come to you when they're ready to talk.
Mhm.
Because sometimes it's not necessarily. I had to also learn that it ain't necessarily just about my point coming across. I also have to hear what they have to say.
okay, okay,
And sometimes I'm not going to always be right.
okay.
And I have to be
Well,
okay with that too.
now that takes big kahunas.
It does.
Because most men will not admit to being wrong. Like they'll be like, "Oh, well, you got to do it my way. Well, I'm right. I'm
Mhm.
right in this. You're wrong. You got all this stuff wrong with you, and I'm here and I'm trying to teach you." It's like, nah, player,
Mm-mm.
nah.
But at the same time, some women can be the same way now.
True, very true, very true. Well, we did not get to all the questions today, so we're gonna have to do a part two, obviously. But I will say that this was absolutely fun and
Mhm.
very interesting, very insightful.
Mhm.
I appreciate you guys joining
Definitely
me.
learn some things.
Yeah, same here. We all learned some things.
Peaches is a wonderful knife thrower. So don't try. Don't get on the bad side.
Try me. No, I'm kidding. But thank you to the audience for those who participated and watching us and commenting. We do appreciate you tuning in. And as always, you guys stay sweet. Peace, guys.
Bye.